to encourage you to sign the poster that we have right over there in the corner where I'm pointing. It says "Innovation Lives Here" with a schematic of the state of Michigan. And we would love for everybody who's here tonight to sign it, just as a symbol of the economic revitalization that each and every one of us is part of tonight in this room. So we're thrilled to have you all here today.
So I saw the list of the attendees at the meeting, and actually it's a pretty interesting collection of entrepreneurial individuals, innovative individuals, faculty from the University of Michigan, and especially our guests from Boston from ex-Conley. There's a sign in the locker room at the University of Michigan football team that said, "Those who stay will be champions." And I really have to give a shout out to our faculty who, over some fairly interesting economic times at the University of Michigan, have stayed and have become champions. And I can tell you why they become champions. If you look at the statistics that the faculty of the medical school have garnered over the last year, we capture about 2.8% of the NIH budget. That translates into about $370 million per year in NIH support that's coming in. And actually, our expenditures from our faculty in medical school exceed $400 million. And there was a very interesting article that just came out from the Association of American Medical Colleges that said for every dollar that's brought in to an area through extramural research support translates into $2.60 for the economy. So really, our faculty really are the champions of Southeast Michigan, and that they've actually supported a lot of the economy that's going on right now. In addition, we have, through Connie's Office of Business Development and her staff, we've launched a number of programs that a number of you have been associated with. And I thank Connie and her group for actually putting this on and helping us really raise our flag with regards to our activities that are going on with regards to our innovative efforts that reach out now actually across the country as we've had a lot of partners come in. Last year we had this meeting here, and at that time we were just the Office of Tech Transfer, which I'd also like to give a little shout out to, just had established their incubator upstairs in this building. And I'm happy to report in kind of an interesting way that we're absolutely busting at the seams. I think they thought that was going to take a couple of years to fill our facilities here, and we're actually looking for new space to grow our incubator. And I think this again just underscores how our faculty have reached out, taken their innovative efforts in the lab and translated those into tangible outcomes. I'd now like to introduce Bob Baduri, who is the CEO, founder, and editor-in-chief of ex-Conley, to give some comments. Bob has published a number of books on innovation. He's also has spoken on innovation to such innovative companies such as Google, eBay, IBM, and Microsoft. Bob?
Well, thanks so much, and it's a great pleasure to be back here for the second year for this event, this Meet the ex-Coms event that we do once a year in all cities. Ex-Conley, if you don't know, we're an online news organization and events organization dedicated to bringing you really high-quality information about what drives growth in the economy, high-tech innovation. And we're in 6 cities around the U.S. We do this private event to thank the economists, our editorial advisors, who work with us to hopefully build and foster the innovation community in our own little way and to lead us to great stories. And all the partners and friends and great innovators around the community that we're getting to know. And so it's the second year we've been here in Detroit, and especially here at this facility with our partners, and we want to, we're really pleased to be back.
So I'm a professor of pharmacology at the medical school at the University of Michigan, but about 8 years ago I set up a facility to help faculty take their projects and develop new drugs. So we've got a facility much like a pharmaceutical company within the university to screen for bioactive compounds which will then be taken forward into drug development. And so I'm the co-director of the Center for Chemical Genomics, and we're building a potential center for new medicines to help set the pipeline for new drugs coming out of the University of Michigan. And those would provide spin-off companies where faculty would have drugs or chemicals that could be used. And so potential spin-off companies through the faculty efforts and to do those sorts of things.
Thank you so much.
Well, we've really been focused on driving innovation, especially with the change of administration and the change in leadership at MEDC. A number of programs that have been driving the innovation. Just in the past year, through our 21st Century Jobs Fund initiative, we've awarded $31.8 million to various programs to encourage innovation. Programs that have looked to partner companies with universities, programs that are funding incubators around the state, programs that have provided support infrastructure for entrepreneurs around the state and early stage capital for entrepreneurs. So lots of different ways that we're working to drive innovation.
Great, thank you.
So the University of Michigan has something as part of OTT, which is the Michigan Venture Center, and it's basically a full-service set of support for our faculty entrepreneurs. So we help our faculty that want to create new businesses. We help them identify mentors that might work with them. We help them write business plans. We help them with regulatory issues. We help them identify sources of funding, be it state funding, venture capital, any kind of funding, to help them create these new companies. The benefit for the state is that many of these companies will stay in the state. They will create high-paying, technology-based jobs for our students, for trailing spouses to our faculty, and they'll hopefully then also create new products that will benefit not only the citizens of Michigan, but also internationally. Things like drugs, diagnostics, new energy, batteries, all sorts of a wide variety of technologies that can benefit everyone in the state and across the world.
Thanks, Jennifer. So I'm Matheson with Flagship Ventures. We're actually a venture firm based in Cambridge, Massachusetts. So step one, I guess, is we're here in Ann Arbor. So we're very much focused on bringing the connection of innovation here with innovation in Cambridge. Number two is we've actually invested in a number of opportunities in Michigan. In fact, our second most recent deal was Tangent Medical, and that's an Ann Arbor-based company, so we're active investors in the ecosystem. And in fact, we brought some of our Boston-based companies, such as Matheson, which is a biofuels company. We've actually, through our relationship with the state and MEDC, we've actually brought the company to Michigan and we're going to deploy our first of a kind biofuels plant in the Upper Peninsula in Kinross. So we're spending time looking at great projects, we're investing in things, and we're actually bringing our companies here to Michigan to help them grow and take advantage of the great ecosystem.
One of the critical aspects of being able to translate the discoveries that are made by several of our investigators in the basic science research domain is to want to be able to see those discoveries translated into humans. And ultimately, when we identify opportunities for therapeutic targets within mechanisms that our basic sciences are discovering, we want to be able to broadly test those therapies into large populations of cohorts. Much of those discoveries can come from our basic scientists into that realm, but in addition, we also know that increasingly industry partners who have potential drug therapies want to also test those in the clinical research environment. So for the University of Michigan to make sure that we have the infrastructure set so that we can do very safe, effective, and high-quality clinical trials is critical to the mission of that translation of discovery into the human biology and improving ultimately health outcomes. It's critical. It's a critical component, really, of the overall university mission, which is also fundamentally important, therefore, to the state of the Michigan economy. We know that significant financial impact of academic activities, so research activities commonly translate into economic impacts, particularly if we're able to attract partnerships with industry, and then as well as these discoveries require or can take advantage of the development of spin-off companies, that also is a huge driver of the economic engine in Southeast Michigan and broadly throughout the state. I would also say that by being able to have that capacity to be able to work with other components or other partners across the state of Michigan with broad clinical research activities, with network-based activities, it also continues to put the state of Michigan at a significant advantage by being a site that industry will look at broadly to be able to bring clinical research activities into.
Ann Arbor Spark is the economic development organization for the Ann Arbor area and region, and we spend a lot of our energy, time, focus on entrepreneurship, providing education, training, development of technology-based startups, early-stage businesses and companies. We provide business acceleration services, many of them as a grant to the startup. We have capital programs that can provide small loans for these startups, and we manage the state's Pre-Seed Capital Fund, which is a co-investment fund that will invest in the first round of outside equity that companies are raising. And so we provide a lot and a myriad of services to get companies launched, to get to commercialization, and to get to the stage 2 so that they're attractive to investors, as well as creating wealth and creating jobs right here in our state.
We're educators. We create knowledge, we disseminate knowledge, we put it to use. So we are training people to convert the tremendous amount of research in medicine, in engineering, in other areas around Michigan, turn those into actual innovations, because research projects don't change the world until they get out of the lab and into the bedsides of patients, get into people's cars, that change the way we use energy. That's what we do. We teach people how to do that, and we're the glue. I'm in the business school. We're the glue between engineering, the sciences, medicine, people in the arts here who are also very innovative. And the benefit is not just for people in Michigan, it's for people in the whole world. If we can cure cancer, if we can cure diabetes, if we can change people's daily lives, if we can cut down on energy consumption, in one level it will change the economy of Michigan. It will make Michigan the state it once was, but way beyond that, it'll change the way everybody lives.